Thank you, Madam Speaker. We've been hearing from constituents and, in fact, from speaking with homeless people that it is getting harder and harder to get the Manitoba Housing. Last December, Manitoba Liberals found, through Freedom of Information, that this government had liquidated 92 Manitoba housing buildings with hundreds and hundreds of units. I tabled documents that now show that between January 2019 and January 2020, the waiting list has reached 9,239 people for Manitoba Housing, an increase of 2,388 in a single year. Does the Premier recognize that liquidating Manitoba housing stock is driving homelessness in this province?
The Honourable Minister of Families.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I thank the member for the question. It's an important one, and our government is proud to have signed on to the National Housing Strategy with the federal government, and we are committed to investing more than $225 million in Manitoba housing over the course of the next 10 years in partnership, Madam Speaker, and it's important to talk about partnership when it comes to Manitoba housing, and we have developed partnerships as well with those not-for-profit sectors who also are looking at managing some of our properties as well, Madam Speaker. They're doing much better job than in the previous government in managing those units, Madam Speaker, and that is freeing up more money to go towards more Manitoba housing to make it more affordable for those who really need it.
The Honourable Member for St. Boniface on a supplementary question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I know the Premier is concerned about too many people being dependent on government for their living, but enough about the PC caucus and its patronage appointees. The liquidation and neglect of Manitoba housing was already rampant under the NDP. These figures make it crystal clear that this government is making life and access to housing worse for thousands of Manitobans. I'll ask the Premier, will he actually act now to address his government's foul-up, or will he just blame the NDP and the victims of his own policies?
The Honourable First Minister.
I did miss some of the preamble, Madam Speaker, but I did hear the part about patronage and the accusations around that, which are pretty rich, coming from a political party that organizes its caucus so that they can appoint judges. And, Madam Speaker, I think the appointment of judges should be left out of political hands, and I hope that Liberal West here would understand that and would communicate their disfavour to the federal partners that they have, and make sure that in future all judges are appointed in a manner other than the Liberal government has been doing so far. Yeah.
The Honourable Member for Tyndall Park.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have the privilege of representing Willow Park, which happens to be the oldest housing co-op in Canada. Co-op housing is a viable alternative to being a tenant in a traditional non-profit housing complex like Gilbert Park. What is the government doing to ensure Manitobans have access to housing co-ops?
The Honourable Minister of Families.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and it's very important that that Manitobans have the access to affordable housing when they need it, Madam Speaker, and that's why since 2016 over $100 million in new social and affordable housing rental units have been created, Madam Speaker. I know members opposite think that's a funny matter, but we don't on this side of the House. We want to ensure that that affordable housing is there for Manitobans when they need it, and that's exactly what we're doing through partnerships like the co-ops that the member opposite mentioned.